You're watching Fugitive Redeye, and welcome to another episode of Redeye Responds. This one is taken from another live responses, and I reference a Dexter response multiple times within this video. That one is not out yet. It will be coming out later. I've got to do some more edits to that one than I would with this one. So this one's coming out first. So if you're like, what the hell is he talking about when he keeps referencing this Dexter response video? That's one that's going to be coming out later. But anyway, let's just dive into these retarded South Park theories, which they called 10 dark South Park theories that will help you reach enlightenment, which is a fucking stupid title.
If you like South Park, let us know your favorite episode in the comments. I'm your host Yusuf, and these are 10 dark South Park theories that will make you reach enlightenment.
So yeah, this isn't most amazing top 10, but it's very similar vibe.
Make sure you subscribe and ring that bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Anyways, let's shake it out west. Okay. Butters is talking to his therapist about what happened. Butters was not one of the primary characters when South Park initially aired, but he has gradually gained
this fucking music.
Recognition. For a season, the character even momentarily...
See, Butters is actually telling his therapist about all the horrible shit that happened to him in his life, and that's the whole wraparound of the show. Look, that wouldn't be like the craziest thing to reveal at the end, except for the fact that Butters isn't in quite a lot of episodes. So, just know on that. But also, again, there usually needs to be some sort of, like, reason to believe a fucking theory, right?
Supplanted Kenny as a...
But these theories, they often just make shit up.
...regular among the quartet of kids. His encounters with the group, and especially with Cartman, are now regular enough that Butters has become an essential element of the show, prompting...
Or is the theory just that he has a therapist that he tells about this? Because that I would be like, maybe. I don't know that his parents care enough to actually get him a therapist, but that would make sense for Butters.
Some ideas...
So honestly, compared to the last fucking list of theories, if it's all it is Butters has a therapist to deal with this trauma, that's like the most reasonable thing we've heard all night.
About the character's emergence. This idea holds that South Park reflects the gang's exploits as relayed to Butters as an adult to his therapist.
Okay, no, so it is the other one. It is the one that it's the wraparound, which again, wouldn't be the most... It's still better than any of the Dexter theories, but I still don't agree. Like, it's better than any of the Dexter theories we responded to tonight, but, there's no evidence to support this.
Butters is readily fooled by the other kids because he is innocent and naive, making him more inclined to believe that the more fanciful portions of the episodes happened and less likely to examine the odd elements. But why would he be in treatment, you may wonder? According to this hypothesis... First
off, asking why Butters would need to be in therapy is not a question that needs to be asked if you've watched a single episode of South Park with Butters in it. Butters' life as a kid is fucking hell.
As the brunt of so many jokes and pranks, Butters has acquired a drive to confront his mistreatment, eventually telling
I would imagine... See, he has had a therapist in previous episodes, but then this guy turned out to be a crazy Norman Bates-type character who's actually... This is the City Walk guy, spoiler.
Therapist about all the horrible, if hilarious, abuse he endured. Number 9.
I mean, again, I still don't agree that there's any fucking weight to this theory, but it's better than any of the theories in that Dexter video, so I'll give it that.
Cartman knows why Kenny is stuck in a loop.
Why would Cartman know? Where's the evidence of that? Like, are you just gonna go off the fact that in that one, I think it's in Cartman Land, when he's like, what, Kenny? He dies all the time. Are you just gonna go on that line? Because Stan and Kyle have acknowledged it in, like, comedic, non-canon ways before, too.
Longest running mysteries on South Park is why no one ever remembers Kenny getting ended in every single episode.
First off, it's not every single episode. It's most of season 1, not all. Quite a lot of seasons 2 through 5, but again, not all. And very, very rarely and sporadically since season 5. He's not really in season 6, except for in the final scene of the of Red Sleigh Down. Again, they do explain it in the Coon Saga, so, to a degree. Again, there is inconsistencies and shit because it's a cartoon, it's fucking South Park. Again, I guess they're gonna go on that one line from Cartman Land to say that Cartman specifically knows.
He passes in a variety of agonizing, horrific ways in the early seasons, only to be revived by the next episode without anyone commenting on it. The series explained...
Except for the few times they do comment on it, not just Cartman.
In episode 13 of season 14 that his parents' participation in Cthulhu cult gatherings was to blame. We learned that every time Kenny was forcefully taken...
That guy's got this fucking big-ass dance music in the background.
from the casting list, his mother would give birth to him again the next night. Since he nearly
It was also in Cartman Joins Nambla in season 4. There was a similar scene, and then they kind of tied that in with the Cthulhu stuff.
Instantaneously grew to the age he was before the event. While no one seemed to remember these events, at least one individual was aware of them. Cartman has appeared on occasion to address Kenny's passing.
As have Stan and Kyle. Like, they're very desensitized to Kenny's death. They don't give a shit about it because it happens all the time. Spooky Fish. They had no reaction to it, amongst many other episodes. I mistakenly said Spooky Fish. Stan says, who didn't see that coming, but it's actually from a different episode, so my mistake. But the point is, Stan and Kyle are completely desensitized to Kenny's deaths.
Explaining what's going on to Stan and Kyle, but never making any headway. Number 8, Kenny stops the characters from aging.
So I've heard this one before. I've already done responses to this one before. I don't agree with it. There is some stuff that, it's not the worst thought out theory in some aspects. I don't agree with it. I have insulted it before. There are elements of it I think are absolutely reaching. Especially since, characters do age, but they do age at an incredibly slow rate because it's a cartoon. But also, when you think about it, right, South Park has had, how many episodes at this point? Like, 400 almost? How many years is 400 days, right? Not even 2 years. Now, granted, I know they've had multiple Christmases, Halloweens, and shit, so you could argue that just blows my bullshit out of the water. Actually, depending on what you count, it looks like there's been around 320 to 325 if you count the specials or so. So not even a full year. But again, it's a cartoon.
I haven't noticed many South Park theories are fascinated with making sense of Kenny's supernatural tendency to return from the grave, time and time again. The characters in South Park, like most animated series, never age. Nonetheless, what distinguishes South Park is the continuity and passage of time, with things like presidential elections taking place to correspond with real-world events. One theory regarding the phenomenon—
Yeah, but South Park's continuity has never been, a huge focus, except for in, seasons 18 through 20, and then, there is continuity in as much as there is. Season 6 has the arc with, Cartman drinking Kenny's ashes and Kenny's soul being in Cartman's body. And, there's the whole meteor shower 3-parter in season 1 that's... was that season 1 or was that season 3? That was season 3. But there's also, the Cartman's mom is a dirty slut thing, and then there's continuity that's tied into that with acknowledging it and pointing out, in 200 and 201, they say that was actually a cover-up. There is continuity, but it's not a major focus with the exception of a few seasons, I guess is what I'm getting at. Especially season 20. And the show has always had a floating timeline when it comes to the real world.
Of South Park residents never aging while the world around them develops and evolves is that the town is locked in a time loop, and it's all Kenny's fault. The same spell that keeps Kenny resurrecting is also distorting time around him, causing weird fluctuations across the village and repeatedly—
It's not really a village.
Resetting time to before he passed away. Essentially, this preserves—
Again, the thing that doesn't make sense about that, right, is they say it resets time. If it resets time, why don't the events also repeat? If it's resetting time, why is it that Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh and Merry Christmas Charlie Manson are not just the same thing in a Groundhog Day sort of way? They're entirely different episodes. And then Woodland Critter Christmas is an entirely different episode from that, right? Or Pink Eye is not the same as, say, A Nightmare on FaceTime. Or Korn's Groovy Pirate Ghost Mystery. They're the same holidays, but different years. I guess you could say, oh, well, the characters don't age. Well, wouldn't the characters be aware they're not aging? I guess that's the loop you're talking about, and they're not aware of that because of, whatever supernatural thing. Maybe, right? Again, this isn't, the worst theory ever, but there's a lot of problems with it, I find. Because if it's a time loop, first off, time is still passing because the years are changing, there's presidential elections, there's different current events. Not to mention characters have aged. They've aged about 2 years since the start of the series, at least last I checked. Except Terrence and Phillip, who are old men now for some reason. Because Stan's 10 now. He was 8 in the first episode, right? And despite the fact that characters, have aged very, very slowly, time in the world has passed the same, and they acknowledge previous events, right? The characters acknowledge previous years, and they acknowledge previous things that have happened in older seasons, and they acknowledge different current events that have happened in the town. So, like, you may say, oh, well, there's, like, a thing in their brain from this supernatural thing that prevents them from acknowledging the strangeness that the world has changed, but they haven't. But in that case, it's not really a time loop. It's really just more of an anti-aging thing, because time still passes. They still have memories of previous time. So the theory to me still just doesn't work.
Everyone the same age while allowing them to gain experience and remember events that happen around them. It also explains why the kids appear to have matured and become more adult-like without becoming any older.
Like, I guess you could be going for, like, a Higurashi type thing in this theory, too, or something like that, but I still don't think that's the case. Like, it is still a bad theory, I think, though. Like, I do think that, the whole time loop with Kenny thing, there are elements of it that I'm like, okay, that's a vaguely interesting thing you're coming up with. But at the same time, there's a lot of holes I can poke in the theory that just make it not make sense to me.
Number 7, Randy and Sharon are siblings.
Hey, more incest.
Randy and Sharon...
More incest theories, just like that weird Dexter one that was bullshit in the fucking previous segment. This is probably going to similarly be bullshit. What fucking logic do they have on it? Are they going to use the example of Grandpa Marsh being depicted as both Sharon's dad and Randy's dad, depending on the episode? Or the fact that Jimbo was at one point, it was unclear whose brother he was, and then it was actually later revealed he's Randy's half-brother, hence why he has the other last name.
March are two of the most regular...
Did he say March instead of Marsh?
Regularly seen adult characters on South Park, and they have only grown in importance over the years. They are major adults in a series that generally centers on children, as Stan and Shelly's parents. Randy's tendency for getting caught up in weird circumstances with bizarre repercussions has catapulted the pair into many narratives over the years. There's a strange fan idea about Randy and Sharon that may seem impossible to accept at first, but given all of the bizarre narratives South
Alright, is there going to be any evidence to it, though?
Park has given viewers, it feels fairly feasible. The hypothesis holds that Stan's parents are half siblings, and it cites
But where's the evidence?
instances when Sharon referred to Randy's father as evidence.
Okay, yeah. So they are going with the fact that it was unclear whose father Grandpa Marsh was. I think he's Randy's father. I don't think they really worked that out in the older seasons. It was just an inconsistency. I mean, there's lots of little inconsistencies like that. Like, many characters were referred to as Carol before they were given a real name. Like, Sheila Bravslavsky. Sharon herself was referred to as Carol once. So there's a lot of that, where there's little inconsistencies like that, right? Like, Red's name has sometimes been, like, Bertha, and a few other names. Butters was originally called Swanson. Like, there's a lot of little shit like that. That's just inconsistencies in the older seasons.
Number 6, Officer Bar Brady isn't a cop. According to a 2012 theory...
Okay, so this one could be fun, right? The fact that... But the thing is, he was depicted as the only cop in the town for many seasons. It wasn't until they introduced the police department in... Little Crime Stoppers, and then they later would have, like, Sergeant Yates and stuff like that. But in the early seasons, Bar Brady was absolutely a cop. He was the only cop in town. Now, granted, maybe you could argue he was faking it back then, too, but he did have a police car and shit, which you could argue maybe it's fake. I don't know. This one's probably not going to be the worst, because Bar Brady is fucking stupid, But also, this one wouldn't make sense with him getting kicked off the force in Naughty Ninjas if he wasn't really a cop, so I still don't think it really holds any water.
The character is simply a regular citizen who has come to believe he is a member of the police force, but is not. According to this viewpoint, the rest of the town feels sorry for Bar Brady and keeps up the pretense to keep him happy and occupied.
So, a big counterpoint to that. In Season 19... Bar Brady was kicked out of the police force and effectively exiled from town.
Since the hypothesis points to his phony police badge, the fact that he has never been called to solve genuine crimes, and his
Yes, he has. Chicken Lover. Have you never seen Chicken Lover?
persistent lack of partners and coworkers. Bar Brady has always functioned as a one-man team, operating out of a small structure with other people seemingly coming and going from what appears to...
Does this video predate Naughty Ninjas? Because Naughty Ninjas from Season 19 basically completely debunks this theory.
to be his own jail. Even in a tiny community, such autonomy for a law enforcement person would be remarkable. Is it feasible that his appearances on South Park are a kind of extravagant gesture?
The video clearly doesn't predate Naughty Ninjas, because that was an image from Pajama Day, which is way after Naughty Ninjas.
From the villagers to keep the delusion of an...
Again, it's not a village, it's a town. If anything, it's more of a city now, because it keeps expanding in the later seasons.
adult guy playing policemen and robbers alive? South Park is purgatory. If you've...
Oh, for fuck's sake! Can we never escape the fucking purgatory, or coma, or it's all a dream? Can we never fucking escape these goddamn awful fucking repetitive theories?
Seen more than a few episodes of South Park, you've probably noticed that grown-ups are mostly portrayed as inept buffoons. Despite this, the adults of South Park operate profitable enterprises and live as autonomous adults, which appears contradictory. One belief is that South Park is
Hey, have you heard of a cartoon?
a kind of purgatory, where departed people
Oh, this is so tiresome.
deemed too foolish to associate with others are banished to spend eternity. This explains why there are so many idiots in town. They are
It's just a dumb redneck town. That's the whole point.
all purposely placed there in an apparent attempt to keep paradise as a place for the more intelligent, well-behaved, and usually civil. This viewpoint is supported by the town's unusual frequent encounters with the devil and Jesus.
No, that does not support it being purgatory at all. That's just a thing that happens. Like, it just has God and Jesus and Satan, and it has a bunch of other characters too, like Buddha and Krishna, and like, cause the super best friends. Like you can try and say, oh, that just adds to it, but why? Why would they go to purgatory? Why would they visit purgatory? Like, you could argue that they might, depending on what mythology you're going on with this. But I just don't see how that makes it a sign.
It is claimed that their repeated appearances are actually attempts by them to improve these wretched souls, moving them forward to either heaven or hell. Number 4.
Except for, like, Jesus' first appearance was fighting the Antichrist, and, like, Satan, like, teams up with Saddam Hussein and tries to, like, start a war with, like, Canada. Not to mention, if he's saying that the town is, then it's an even more dumb theory, because they leave the town all the time in the show. Maybe he's saying the world of South Park is, but if he's saying the town is, it's even stupider.
Kenny's parents can't afford taking care of him, and it's kind of Kenny's fault.
That's, okay, well, it's kind of Kenny's fault doesn't make sense to me, but this is obviously true. His family's poor? Like, what's the theory?
Kenny has a difficult life in South Park. Not only did he perish in so many early episodes, but his
are they gonna say because of his health? Because, like, his health doesn't really matter. He just comes back.
family life was always in disarray. His parents do not appear to love him in any significant sense.
I mean, I don't know that that's entirely fair. There's been instances of it. I'll admit they're sparse, and they're not, like, super heartfelt. Kenny, if anything, has only really had really heartfelt moments with his sister. But I wouldn't say that they don't love him. In Spooky Fish? Fucking Mrs. McCormick was really, really, like, upset and, like, destroyed and started to go crazy because Kenny died.
And they are far from ideal adult influences.
Sure, but there's, like, no ideal adult influences in South Park.
As they are both alcoholics with a history of
Other than maybe Chef.
substance usage. These
Obviously before the return of Chef.
usually absent parents appear to be struggling to feed their child, with Kenny seen eating Pop-Tarts, microwave pizza.
I like how the theory just says Kenny's parents are poor. No fucking shit. That's kind of the whole fucking point.
Or frozen waffles for dinner, and bread sandwiches for breakfast. Apparently, it's all they can afford. There's an intriguing explanation as to why Kenny's parents are so impoverished. Because the child passed away so frequently, his parents had been obliged to pay for hundreds of funerals.
You know what? Fair.
Number 3,
Funerals are fucking pricey.
Cartman loves Kyle. Cartman is
That's not even a theory! Like, have you seen fucking... What the hell's that episode called? The one where Cupid Me's first introduced. And let's take Smug Alert, for instance. Cartman has that, like, kind of frenemy, you know, like, the Joker is sad when Batman dies kind of thing with him. And he also has some weird moments with him in some episodes, too.
is possibly the most disliked and despised child in town, but he sure makes South Park viewers chuckle. His interactions with Kyle have been especially amusing, as the two of them frequently get testy right away.
I mean, again, they have a good frenemy thing, too, as well. It does depend on the episode, but is this even really a theory? This is kind of, like, confirmed. Like, is this really a theory?
And while their group generally sticks together and somewhat
also, I like how this video is exactly 9 minutes and 11 seconds.
Has each other's backs, it's safe to say that there are two members of the friend group who hate each other. It's Kyle and Cartman. According to a 2016 idea, the hatred between Cartman and Kyle stems from the big-boned child's subliminal desire for him.
Well, I don't know about that. Again, there's some weird shit in some episodes, for sure. Like, I would say this has more grounds than the Mandark one in that Dexter video we watched. But even so, like, I think that it is comedic. It's not actually intended to be a real trait. Like, he does have a kind of a frenemy thing, like, you know, Doofenshmirtz and Perry the Platypus. But I don't think he's actually, like, in love with him. Again, except for in, like, maybe 1 or 2 episodes that are kind of weird.
Cartman loves to rile up Kyle because he doesn't understand the difference between attention and affection.
No, that's not it.
Number 2, South Park is an experiment. South Park...
Oh, for fuck's sake, another one of these. It's an experiment, guys. It's done by the government. That's why all this crazy stuff happens in the town, guys. It's all an experiment. They have this theory for fucking Family Guy. I'm sure there's more. I've heard it before plenty of times. The Family Guy is the only one I can think of other than this, but no.
Is rarely a typical town. The events that take place range from bizarre to psychotic.
Hey guys, have you heard of a fucking cartoon?
Whether it's visits from Jesus, talking poos.
Well, the aliens, if you're going to use that as an example, the entire Earth is a TV show within South Park. Like, if we're going to go on that logic of experiments, like, the Earth is literally a show to these aliens.
Or alien probing. So many...
Like, have you ever seen the episode Canceled?
Incredible things occur in this Colorado hamlet that it appears that there might be some underlying cause. A theory proposes one by speculating that the town is the subject of some type of supernatural experiment. South Park is being used as a testing ground for the dark arts by a hidden organization, perhaps the Illuminati or a comparable entity.
Oh, man. Why are they using this Yo Gabba Gabba fucking bitch as a thing? Because, like, this is just a chick in a costume.
With scenarios that could be unleashed on the entire Earth. The experiment has locked the town in a time loop. There's that...
Okay, so we're tying this back to the time loop now.
That word again, still stressing on that fact that...
He's literally using images from Canceled. If you want to go with the experiment thing, maybe say that it's the Juvians doing it to get more ratings for their show on Fognal.
None of these kids have aged in over a quarter decade.
Not true. They literally have. Over a quarter decade. A quarter decade? Like, what would that even be? Fucking 25% of 10. What, 12.5 years? Don't worry. I realize I'm being fucking retarded here. I'm gonna let my past self say the dumb shit and then come to the realization that I'm saying that 12.5 could somehow be 25% of 10 because I'm being really fucking stupid. Sorry about that. The show's been out for more than 12.5 years. The hell? When did this fucking video come out? 2 years ago. It was dead. What the hell? Why are you... A quarter decade? Okay, I just realized that I am retarded because I said 12.5 years is 25 fucking percent of 10 years. I meant 1.2. No, hold on. What the hell? What the fuck? Oh, I feel so stupid right now. What the hell kind of math is that? Jesus, here I am criticizing him for saying a quarter decade, which would be like, what, 4 years? No? How much? Like 3.333 whatever years would be like a fucking third of a decade, right? And a fourth would be smaller than that. So what, 2 years? By the way, it's fucking 2.5. Again, I don't know why I didn't think of it at the moment, because it's literally 25 is 25% of 100. Just take off the 0, right? And so we got a decimal point, right? We just shift the decimal point. It's 2.5. I don't know why past me was being so dumb here. I guess the brain were rubbed off. 2.5 years, give or take. Wow, though. Here I am trying to shit on this guy for saying a quarter decade, which is already a weird measurement. But then I retardedly say that 12.5 years is a fourth of 10 years. Oh my god, I'm stupid.
Making Kenny immortal and unleashing paranormal weird phenomena on South Park. Number 1, the 4 main characters are the Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
What?
South Park revolves mostly around the activities of the 4 main characters.
I'm still laughing at my own retardation here.
Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny. According to one fan idea, these 4 characters represent something far more complicated than the 4 kids we see before us. They represent the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Death and conquest.
Why are you showing World War Zimmerman as an example?
Are said to be represented by Kenny.
Like, look, I'll admit, with my reviews, a lot of the times the screenshots, especially if I'm like half-assing it, aren't like relevant to the part of the movie I'm talking about. But like, this is a much bigger channel than me.
Cartman. Kenny is associated with death, having passed away hundreds of times.
Okay.
And like other representations of the Grim Reaper,
I mean, Cartman would have to be war, right?
drapes his hood around his
Wouldn't Kenny also be famine?
head to obscure
Like,
his
Kenny would be like a lot of them.
face.
Because he'd be pestilence and famine.
Cartman has a great desire to reign over and dominate people, thinking them as inferiors, and thus represents conquest. Kyle's link to the Horsemen is less evident, but given his willingness to dispute people who disagree with him and fight for what he believes in, war appears to be the most plausible.
Okay, so it's the one that has conquest instead of, does it replace pestilence or does it replace famine? I can't remember.
Ability. Then there's Stan, who has to be famine, and this is where
Okay, so pestilence is not factored in here. Because again, the 4 horsemen, there's different variations depending on what interpretation you're going on.
The idea kind of breaks down. Thanks for watching. Those were 10 dark South Park
You're not going to elaborate, really? That's it? That's all you got for that one?
theories that will make you reach enlightenment. Leave a like and comment if you think we missed anything, and we hope you have, come on, a scary day.
What's scary is how bad these theories are. Also, what did you mean quarter decade? That's like 2.5 years, you donut. Cupid Me is introduced and Cartman finds love. Yeah, there you go. That was awful. I'm glad that's over with. Is that an intentional reference you're doing there, Super Gaming, to this? Hold on.
That sucked. I'm sure glad that's over with.